Well, thank you, Madam Chair or the Speaker. I appreciate taking this opportunity to talk about seniors. I know that across my riding of North Island Powell River, I'm hearing from more and more seniors that are struggling to make ends meet. They're having a hard time affording food, affording their medication, being able to pay for the key things that make their life reasonable. And we're also hearing more and more seniors who are in rental units that are being evicted or have nowhere else to go. So it's very concerning to listen to the organizations that work so hard to keep people fed and housed in our region and understand how many seniors are falling through the cracks. I was able to ask a question several weeks ago, and I asked about the fact that OAS for seniors is only being increased for seniors 75 and older, which means seniors between the ages of 65 and 74 are really struggling. It was very interesting to me, Madam Speaker. A constituent got a hold of my office and talked about the fact that her neighbour, who is over 75, received a letter informing her that her old age security would be increased by about $200 a month, and that was a huge relief to that senior. However, for the senior who wrote me, she is not near 75 yet. She has a few years till she gets there, and she talked about how hard that was, that she looked it up online trying to figure out why she didn't get the increase, and when she realized it was because of age, it didn't really reflect her needs. And so, my question was simply to the government, why are you telling seniors 65 to 74 that they don't require this, especially for some of our most vulnerable seniors who are struggling with poverty, especially with the reality of inflation? And when I look at the budget, I'm very happy to see finally dental care for seniors added to the budget. Madam Speaker, I have heard from seniors across my riding, some of them waiting outside the door with their information because they heard I was fighting for seniors to get dental care. And it was absolutely sad, the stories of extreme pain often, waiting years, saving money, trying to find a way to pay for root canals and different procedures that they needed. One senior said to me, I can afford the couple $100 it costs me every year to get my teeth cleaned, but I can't afford anything else. And so whenever I have a problem like a cavity, it can take me a few years to pay for it. So really pleased that dental care is in the budget, but really, really unhappy that we don't see anything else. And, we know that we forced this government to do this. 2 years ago, they voted against dental care for seniors in this country. We made them do it. So glad that it's here. But, Madam Speaker, too many seniors are falling between the cracks, and their suffering is something that we could do something about in this country if this government had the political will to do so. And I want to point out that single seniors are perhaps impacted, one of the most impacted seniors. Their cost of living is 2/3 the cost of a couple. So they have to make up that resource for themselves. And we know that a lot of single seniors are renting, and the cost of housing is significantly higher, and it's only increasing. So the Single Seniors for Tax Fairness have come up with some really important ideas that I was hoping to see in the budget. We didn't see those things reflected in the budget, which I think is very unfortunate. We need to make sure that the seniors of this country are getting the supports that they need so they can live with a bar of dignity. And Madam Speaker, having the OAS increased for those seniors between 65 and 74 would just bring up that bar of dignity. It isn't the only solution, but it is a solution that this government could remedy fairly quickly if they had the political will. So I'm back here again, Madam Speaker, fighting hard for seniors because they deserve to have the financial support to live with dignity. Single seniors with a very fixed income deserve to feel that they can live with dignity. And too many across this country are making decisions between appropriate housing, clothing, bills, heat, and medication. And I think this Canada should do so much better for seniors, and I'm wondering why the Liberal government doesn't agree. Thank you.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary of the Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the member from North Island Powell River for her question. She raises the very important issue of dignity, and I wholeheartedly agree with much of what she said. Seniors do deserve a dignified retirement after a lifetime of hard work. They deserve to live knowing that they have the means to pay for their housing, food, and medications, to name a few. But with food costs and rental costs soaring, it is hard for people to put their financial cares aside. This is the reason why our government increased the old age security pension by 10% for seniors over the age of 75. As seniors age, they tend to have lower income and are often facing higher health-related expenses because of the onset of illness or disability. Now, thanks to the increase in OAS, we're strengthening the financial security of 3.3 million Canadian seniors. And because higher prices on essential goods are causing undue stress, we passed Bill C-46, the one-time grocery rebate, which will deliver targeted inflation relief for 11 million Canadians who need it the most, providing eligible seniors with an extra $234 on average. Our new dental care plan, as she mentioned, will help seniors so that they get the dental care they need. That's why Budget 2023, we propose an additional we propose to provide $13 billion over 5 years and $4.4 billion ongoing to help 9 million Canadians, including seniors, receive the dental care that they need. These new measures build on the supports our government has already provided to seniors in the form of program changes, tax breaks, and top-ups. Since 2015, we've made significant progress for seniors. To begin, we increased the GIS for nearly 1 million low-income single seniors. Then we restored the age of eligibility from 67 to 65 for GIS and OAS pensions, which the Conservatives planned to increase this year if they were still in power. We enhanced the Canada Pension Plan. We reduced income taxes through increases to the basic personal account. And finally, Budget 2022 committed a top-up of $500 to the Canada Housing Benefit to help low-income renters, including seniors, with the cost of renting, and a one-time doubling of the GST credit for 6 months. We are committed to making life more affordable for Canadians, Madam Speaker, and our government has a record to prove it. Thank you.
The honourable member for North Island Powell River.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for his response. It was kind of interesting that the most impact that I see for seniors are things that the NDP said, if you don't play with us nicely, we're not going to support you unless you do these things. So it's great that they're announcing the things that are in the budget that the NDP proposed, the dental, the doubling of the GST. But what I'm not hearing is anything about how there's going to be real action taken, especially for single seniors. Like, all seniors I'm worried about, but I know that single seniors in particular, largely women, Madam Speaker, are really struggling. They're talking about the financial challenges that they have. There's some really common sense responses that could be done. When is that going to happen? The other thing that I heard the member talk about is the supports for low-income renters. Madam Speaker, in my riding, there is so little housing. It's not about getting extra money to pay rent. It's actually having somewhere to live. So is there going to be an investment in housing that's going to sustain seniors in a meaningful and respectful way? So those are a couple of the questions. I certainly hope that he will take it back to his government, that single seniors deserve better and that we need more rental units, especially in rural, remote communities, because there simply isn't any there.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Well, Madam Speaker, I certainly did talk about single seniors. I talked about some of the supports that we have. I talked about some of the supports that we introduced years ago, some of the ones that are in Budget 2023. But, you know, more broadly, to her point about the NDP forcing the hand of the Liberal Party, you know, the NDP can play it any way that they want. I'm hear it routinely in this House where this member and other members get up and say that they forced this government to do all these great things. Listen, if they want to take credit for it, that's great. NDP can take credit for it. But at the end of the day, Canadians, and in particular seniors, are better off because of the relationship between the NDP and the Liberals. I have no problem saying that I am very grateful for this member and the NDP for their willingness to work with this government. They're acting like the adults in the room, and that's exactly what Canadians deserve.